everyone, it's Heather. Welcome back into the Paper Castle. Wanted to give you an update on some items that recently sold, and some that got some bids, and also tell you about my interesting experience at the auction house yesterday on their free appraisal day. So I'm going to start out with some of the things that have bids currently. This I showed a couple videos ago. It's a Bible history textbook for a Catholic school. It's pretty old. I forget when, 1931, and it was pretty beat up. I didn't know if it would get any bids. I got it for $2. It's got a bid right now for $9.99, and has a couple people watching it. I was happy about that. Sold two of my Bibles last night. This one here is a red letter edition. That just means that some of the passages are in red. And this one sold for $9.99. And then this one is also a concordance Bible, just like the one I showed you. This is not a red letter edition. And this one sold for $18.26. So, not too bad. Those were $1 each. And then this next one was also $1 at the book sale that I went to. And this is a nice one. This is a New Analytical Study edition from Crusade. This one is up to $28, and it ends tomorrow night, so I'm hoping maybe it'll go up even a little bit more. But I'm thrilled with $28. These are some things that got some questions, or that got a question this morning, and I'm going to be selling those later today. I've had these in my store for a while now with really no interest until this morning. I was actually going to take this and the next item I'm going to show you out of my store and donate them, but looks like as of today they're going to be sold. This is a Royal Dalton pitcher. Could never find the pattern name on that. This one was another one that I was going to donate. This is a really pretty piece. I'm surprised it didn't sell sooner. It's just decorative. It's not signed or anything. That is going, and this little rooster pitcher or creamer says Le Chanticleer 1962 Napco. So the lady asked about these, asked for combined shipping. I gave her combined shipping, and made, I think, around $37 on the three of those. So had a good morning so far. Alright, I'm gonna tell you about my auction experience. I took five different things to the auction yesterday. When I walked in, the place was full. It was kind of like a mini Antiques Roadshow. I got a number and sat down at the end of a row of chairs, and I happened to be right next to these two folding tables that they had set up. And I had to wait about an hour and a half to get my items appraised. But that was okay, because there were these two appraisers that were at these folding tables for most of the time that I was watching. And they were appraising people's items, and it was just so interesting. I was trying to take everything in and soak up everything like a sponge, and eavesdrop on all their conversations. And both the appraisers were really, really nice, very personable, funny. It didn't matter if the person's item was worth, $1,000 or $10. They were more than willing to appraise them. So I was hoping that I would get one of them to appraise my items. And then my turn finally came. And unfortunately, I got snooty-faced McGrouchy Pants, apparently. I got this old guy who was probably one of the most condescending people I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. He called my number. I raised my hand. He looked at me like I was like a piece of dirt on his shoe. and just pointed to the back table and said, "Go put your stuff over there." I'm like, okay. So I went and put my items on the table, and I had this jug, this syrup jug that I showed you guys in one of my last videos. I had this whole set of Tudor City silver plate items. There's 8 of them here total. So I had those. I had the vase that I found for myself the other day. I had this little pitcher and creamer set, which I know is not old. I just couldn't really find a base price for it. And then I had this plate by this Russian artist that I'll show you guys in a minute. So that's the stuff that I had. The man didn't even say hello to me, and I took my stuff out and I said to him, I said, "Well, I've done as much research as I can do. I found out a lot about these items." I said, "But I just can't figure out a value." I said, "The only thing that I do know is that, you know, they are worth more than what I paid." And he looked me straight in the face and said, "Well, then I guess you paid nothing for them." I was like, okay. So my first thought was, okay, old man, it's on now. You know, you've officially crossed over to the dark side, and there's no coming back. So I was going to be anything but cooperative from that point on. So I'll let you know what he did say. You know, I told him that from what I'd found that this was a syrup jug, and he said, "Well, yes, it could be called a syrup jug, but since it's insulated, there's another liner, there's a double layer of metal in here." He goes, "Well, since it's insulated, you can use it for other things other than syrup, like gravy or, you know, coffee or something like that." So he was looking at it, and he looked at the bottom, it said Stanley Insulating Company. He looked at the side, he goes, "Well, you know, there's no mark on here with a hotel name or anything. Usually these pieces were made for the hotel or restaurant business, but there's no mark on this one." He goes, "But, you know, how could you tell because it's so tarnished?" He goes, "You could try and clean it." He goes, "But if I were you, I wouldn't really recommend it." I'm like, all right then. So that one, he didn't even value for me. I was so angry that by the time I got home and realized he never gave me a value, you know, I don't know, at that point I didn't even care. This, it depends on who you talk to. He told me it was, you know, worth nothing, it was worth $35. There was one of the other guys who I liked, actually, you know, yelled out from across the room. He goes, "You know, that's not new." And I go, "No, I didn't," or he said, "That's not old." And I said, "No, I didn't think it was." I said, "I just really love it." And he goes, "Oh, I used to buy those by the case." But he never gave me a value. But the funny thing was, there was a woman about an hour before my items were appraised, and one of the other nice appraisers appraised a perfume bottle that she had. It was the exact same design as this, it was just a different color, a lot smaller than this. He told her 60 to 80. So I guess that's kind of all a matter of opinion. So then I showed him these items. This is a creamer in a sugar bowl. They're from a company called Franz. They started back in 2002. They're a Chinese porcelain company. Their stuff is really, really beautiful. You know, if you like this intricate stuff. But it's really, really well made. It's all very dimensional. And I found it for $4. $4 for the set at a rummage sale. If you search Franz Porcelain on eBay, you'll find a lot of items. Probably maybe only about 20% of them sell, but they sell for pretty good prices. But I hadn't seen these two. So I told him, I said, "You know, I know these aren't old." And he looked at them and he goes, "No, they're not." And I said, "Well, you know, how much do you think they'd be worth?" He goes, "Maybe $10 a piece if anyone would even want them." So then we moved on to my Tudor City silver plate items. And he looked at them and he goes, "Well, you know, they're silver plate." And I said, "I understand they're silver plate." I said, "But I also know that there's a lot of people who collect restaurant and hotel silver plate. If you do a search on eBay for hotel silver plate, you'll find a lot of items. A lot of them sell for fairly good money because people want those items with the different marks from the different hotels on them. So he decided that he would, go to the computer and do a search to see if any of this had ever sold. And he came back and he said, well, I haven't been able to find any Tudor City that's sold anywhere ever. So to me, I took that as a good thing because that means that this is rare. And if I put it up on eBay as a lot, the hotel and restaurant silver plate collectors might really take a shine to this. He told me these were worth maybe $10 to $15 a piece. So since I bought the entire box of them, including the little stein I sold for $15 last week, and this syrup pitcher, bought everything for $5, I was more than happy with that because I think I have eight pieces of this. So I think I'm going to put that up on a lot on eBay. But then he decided to test me, and he looked at me and he said, well, do you even know where Tudor City is? And so I looked at him and I said, well, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. It's on the east side of Manhattan, and it was the first residential skyscraper ever built in the world back in the 20s. Is there anything else you want to know about it? So as you can tell, at that point I was getting really obnoxious because he was being really mean to me, and there was no reason for that. He even said to me, he goes, I don't even know why you brought all this stuff here. It's not like it's anything valuable enough for us to sell. And I'm thinking, it's free appraisal day. It's not, free bring in all your stuff worth thousands of dollars so that I can have you auction it and give you a commission. Well, anyway, this is the last thing that I showed him. And he took one look at the box and he goes, oh, well, this is from Villeroy & Boch. Well, thank you. I may not be an appraiser, but I'm not illiterate either. I can read. So he opened it. He took a look at the plate. Now, I found this plate online. I just cannot find values for it. And I found it on some pretty good auction sites, but you have to pay to find out the results. So he went and he looked on in his database, and he came back and he said, well, there's a set of these. And I said, yes, I know. There's a set of 4. I only have 1. He said, well, a few years ago, someone attempted to auction a set for $600 to $800 or €600 to €800. He goes, but they didn't sell. And he said, so I would think you would have to have all 4. He goes, but if I had to put a value on this one, he goes, I would have to say $100 to $200. Well, I was happy with $100 to $200. I paid $5 for the plate. So that was my auction experience. I had a really good time for the first hour and a half, and then the last 10 minutes really sucked. So I may actually go to their website today and shoot them an email and tell them how obnoxious this man was to me, because there were so many people there with items that weren't really worth much, just like mine, and they were treated very nicely, and I don't understand why I was treated like garbage. So I may try it again. I just will say straight out that I will not have that man look at my items. So I hope you enjoyed my informative tale about the auction house. And I have to go and try and list these items for prices that I think they'll go for, and pack these other ones up. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.